Welcome back to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Bally Bet, a sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Very happy now for the first time on the program to welcome the new offensive coordinator of the Cleveland Browns, Ken Dorsey. Welcome back. I think we have to start there. Welcome back. How's it when you kind of went through this, you're like, Cleveland?
No.
Obviously, you know it well.
Yeah, no, I obviously know the city well. It's changed so much.
Sure.
It's grown a lot. Downtown is a lot of fun to kind of go down there and explore just how much that's changed than my old stopping grounds down here in Berea and Strongsville and all these places. So, and then just walking into the facility, I think the only thing that's the same is the stairway in the front and the door I walk through. Other than that, everything's completely different. So
yeah, this wasn't here.
Yeah,
certainly.
Yeah, no doubt. It's exciting. It's very exciting. You really feel a different energy walking into the building, this time around than when I was here the last time. It's a whole different vibe, a whole different energy. And a lot of that's just, that's from leadership
Sure.
From ownership, from the Haslam family to, obviously Andrew and Kevin and everybody here. It's a true testament to them, just the culture that they've built here.
And it's a city, and you know this well, that is passion. I know Buffalo, they are very passionate. Buffalo,
no, yeah.
They are extremely passionate here in Cleveland. Does that kind of make it a little more fun when you know you've got a city that is like living and dying in some cases with the football team?
There's no doubt. I mean, that was the most fun about being here. And look, I mean, we had our good and we had our bad, unfortunately, but the best part about being here in the past were the fans and just how great they were and how supportive they were.
Sure.
Coming out to games. And, I was the third guy for a lot of those years, and I was, had to play, my last year here and that stretch of games. And, walking out on that field, like, it was special. Like, it held a place in my heart, and still does, just being able to step out on that field and as a player. And now it's going to be even more special to me as a coach being a part of it.
Did you get a chance to see Thursday night Browns-Jets primetime when we clinched the playoffs? Were you able to watch that one home and kind of feel it? Like, that's what this city craves and needs, and an opportunity, obviously, to do it again this year.
No, I mean, the stadium is great. We got a great stadium. It's awesome, beautiful and everything. But that stadium's not the same without the electricity that our fans bring. And that's what you felt in that game. You felt the electricity of, our fans and just how special they make this place and this environment and this city and this organization. It's what drives us to, do everything humanly possible. And, the hours that we work and all that stuff, it's like it's driven by the fans and how much we want to bring them a winner.
All right, let's talk a little offensive football. So when I was kind of, asked people, Ken Dorsey, he's great in the spread, RPO, dual threat quarterback game. Well, guess what? We've got that guy. So that's good. And that's very different than what has been kind of what you call the core bread and butter of Ken. We'll talk about how those match. But what does that mean? Spread, RPO, dual threat quarterback.
I mean, I think there's obviously things that we can bring over from, whether it's 11 personnel, 12 personnel, spreading guys out, getting guys in space and doing that type of stuff. And I think that's the exciting part to me is that mesh of some of those ideas with what we've done here in the past, and being able to evolve this offense, because it's hard to be just one style all the time. You want to be able to keep a defense off balance by, spreading them out, then getting condensed and running it play action. So at the end of the day, for me personally, like, yes, there's those drop back and spread concepts, but I do also love, getting and run the ball and pounding defenses and doing that and then play actioning off it. I think there can be a great blend of those things and some of those spread RPO, those types of concepts, and really form an identity that guys can get excited about.
It almost feels like it has a potential to be a unique offense in the NFL in the sense that it can blend those things you were just talking about with that baseline that we are so good at of that Shanahan, Kubiak, wide zone, even though I know we run a lot of pin, pull, and power, and we've varied our run game, but using those hard play action back to the defense, but then also incorporating that with where we can be in shotgun and do some of the things that Deshaun has done historically in his career and still be explosive.
No doubt. And I think, those in my past, this past season, those first few games, that first stretch, that blend I thought was good. There were some of those some of those things you're talking about of mixing some personnels and then, under center run game, play action, and then spreading them out and, mixing, some tempo stuff and all those different things. And I think that's what made us, really, really good, in that early stretch of season right there. And, being able to kind of pick that up and continue it
Sure.
With some of the stuff that we already do here. And again, bringing some of those RPOs that just puts the defense in binds and conflicts and spread drop back concepts and whatnot. That's what I'm really excited about. And then not to mention, a guy like Kevin, who's been around the league for so long, and done, he's done a lot of different things too. He's
Sure.
been in, this system. He's been in a North Turner style system. So like some of the things we'll talk about is I think going to blend nicely together.
One of the things that we've been kind of and maybe it's personnel wise or maybe it's just been scheme wise is our shot plays have kind of been dependent on play action. Mm-hmm. And that's where we're able to really push the ball. Obviously you put on Buffalo, you're able to push the ball down the field regardless of whether there's play action or not. How do you kind of conceptualize or want to integrate maybe some of those concepts that allow us to be vertical and really attack a defense at every blade of grass without having the necessity of it has to come off of a hard play action?
Well, I think the number one thing that you look at is, okay, well, how are we going to protect it? You know what I mean? And we got a great group up front. We got, but we're also playing some good defense, whether it's pressure packages, personnel matchups, whatever
Sure.
that might be. It all starts, with the starting point of protecting the quarterback to make sure, you could draw up some of the best concepts on earth, but, we got to make sure to get that done. And with the group of guys we got, those front five guys, that's the exciting part about what they can bring to the table, and
got a good blocking tight end
yeah,
too, the
yeah,
Chief.
No doubt. So, the starting point's there, and then, making sure that, to your point, I think is a great point. You want to be able to attack short, intermediate, and downfield, and not have a defense say, okay, 90% of the time they're throwing this. You want to be able to attack those different areas to now put pressure on them to have to defend the whole field,
Sure.
not vertically and widthwise.
When you think about a guy like Deshaun, who when you kind of watch back in his Hughes stuff, in his rookie year he did some more under center stuff, but for the most part when he's had his success, it's kind of him in shotgun, seeing everything in front of him, as opposed to kind of where you saw Joe Flacco be very comfortable at turning his back to the defense, taking that pitcher, coming back, seeing it, and knowing what he needed to do with the ball. How do you work with a guy to get, number one, better at maybe the back to the defense stuff, but then also say, all right, look, we have somebody who was as elite as there was in this league doing this. Mm-hmm. How do we, and you mentioned down there, maximize those strengths?
Yeah. Again, I think that's going to be the fun part of developing that balance and working with Deshaun and saying, okay, that communication is huge. Okay,
Yep.
What are we comfortable with? What can we get better at? What can we get you comfortable with? And I think those things are big, but his skill set, I think, translates to so many different things, whether it's drop back or play action, whatever it is, but to your point, I think, it's being able to expand and do some of those drop back type things that he's excelled at, will be great for us, because one, we got obviously him, but then two, we've got, weapons on the outside, sure. Inside. If they want to get soft and you dump it down to Nick or one of our backs, like they're going to make plays for you in space as well. So we got guys on the outside that win, tight ends that can win, obviously, David and those guys. So, that's the exciting part about it is not only just one, developing the scheme, but developing the scheme with the weapons that we have and trying to maximize those guys.
When you think of being able to coordinate an offense that involves Nick Chubb,
mm-hmm.
You've been with some good running backs, obviously, but Nick Chubb is elite.
Yes.
When you think about kind of that and the advantage that gives you, because now you have a home run capability even on a simple handoff.
Right.
And how that stresses a defense. Is that kind of an exciting thing for you to kind of think about?
Well, there's no doubt. Because at the end of the day, defenses, right, they're going to try to load the box and whether or not you're force blocking safeties and doing those different things, then corners or cracker place and all that stuff, right, all those scheme stuff. But when you got a guy like Nick who can, make somebody miss, and do those sides, run them, yep. That's when all of a sudden, those, 6, 7, 8 yard runs go to, explosive runs, or, take a 2 or 3 yard run goes to a 6 or 7 yard run, and those types of things. So, Obviously, a guy like him is invaluable, and what he brings to the table and what he has brought to the table. And we won't lose sight of that, and we'll make sure that obviously, he's going to be an integral part of what we do.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Thank
Great
you.
talk with you. We'll get to do it again soon. I know you're very busy, so appreciate
good.
the time. And again, congrats and welcome back to Cleveland.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. We'll be back with more Cleveland Browns Daily brought to you by Bally Bet right after this.